Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released iOS 13.2 Developer Beta 1 to all developers. So far the public beta isn't out. It may be out by the time you're watching this video or later today or the following day. Now this came in at 3.72 gigabytes on my iPhone 11 Pro Max, and expect them to be very large when you're going from a public release to a beta or from a beta back to a public release. That's just normal. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number. The build number is 17B5059G, and this particular build has some things we've seen before and some that we haven't. But the first thing you need to know about it is that there is a modem firmware update for all devices. So if you have an iPhone 11 Pro Max or even an iPhone SE, you may see a modem change as well. So if you were having connectivity issues, those could be improved. Now, in the past couple hours that I've been using this, it seems fine. It wasn't bad before, so it should be the same or better for you. There are no new emoji yet, and there are also two resolved issues. One of them is an issue that was fixed that prevented the deletion of recovered files or folders on the iPad and iPhone within iCloud, so that should be fixed. Now here's some of the new features. There's probably little tweaks and changes all over the place, but I've noticed a few of them, and one of them is in music. So if you're in music and you tap on the music icon that you're playing and you pull down from the top, you can see the history of what has been played. Now, I don't know if these are syncing across iCloud or on here directly. I'm not really sure, but you can see the actual history. So again, just go to whatever's playing now, tap on it, and just pull down, and you'll see what was actually being played. And that's something that's new. Some people have said that when you actually tap the icons for repeat and shuffle, that these icons are a little bit different. I'm not sure I've seen that, but some people have said that. Now, if we go into settings and then we go to wallpaper and then we choose a wallpaper, and maybe we'll just go to one of these stills here, you'll see now it says perspective zoom on and off. So they've finally updated this to show us what's actually going on. And then it also will switch here in a moment to show you that you can resize it if it's not sensing any movement or anything like that. So it's nice that they're actually telling you what it is now. It was a little confusing for some people. Now in settings, there's a new section. So let's cancel this and go back. Within settings, there's a new section, and that new section is for AirPlay and handoff. So if we go to general, you'll see AirPlay and handoff. And under this, you have automatically AirPlay to TVs, transfer to HomePod, and handoff. Although many people are saying this is not working yet, but it is there. Now, something that a lot of people are excited about is announce messages with Siri is back, and that can be found under Siri and search. However, I am not seeing it. But if I connect my AirPods, so we'll bring these AirPods here, I'll hold the button. Let me reset them. There we go. We'll wait for it to connect. We'll hit connect. And when it connects, there we go. I'm finally seeing the message. Before it would pop up and say, do you want to use it? So announce messages is finally there, and you'll see announce messages from messages. Maybe we'll have different apps in the future, and then also reply without confirmation. So this was not showing up for me. I actually did this once before, and instead I got a little pop-up when I connected to them that said, do you want to use announce Siri with messages or announce messages with Siri? And it's just all of a sudden showing up now. So this may or may not show for you. Try repairing them just like I did if it's not showing up. Now, if we go into settings here and then we go to privacy, you'll see there's a new research field. Now, there is nothing in here, but it's for future projects. So when Apple is researching things, you can participate or not participate, but they will be there in the future. Now, if I connect my AirPods and I use them with my device, there's a subtle little change to the UI. So let me put one in my ear. It's connected. And if I pull down the control center, you'll see that it shows AirPods here in the control center now. Before it didn't show that. So you can turn it up and down, whatever you'd like. And then if I go into music and I hit play, let me get out of this and bring the volume down. The exit animation for this volume is a little bit different. You'll see it just kind of swings in and then goes back out. And then I screenshot it there, but it swings in and then goes back out. See it one more time. So that's new as well. Now, the big thing with this particular update is Deep Fusion for the camera on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max phones, or really any A13 processor phone. And what that's supposed to do, and I'll try my best to explain it, but what this is supposed to do is when you're in medium light, so you're not in bright sunlight, but you're not in light that's dark enough so that you actually need night mode, what it will actually do is take 3 frames before you even hit the shutter button. Then it takes 3 frames after you hit the shutter button and a long exposure. Then in a 4-step process, pixel by pixel, it corrects detail, tone, color, luminance, and more, and blends them all together. And you need that new neural engine in the A13 to do that. So let's go into the photos, and I'll show you side by side with a phone I don't have updated. So this is the iPhone 11 Pro. I do not have this one updated to the beta. So I'll show you the same photo. And this is the same photo side by side. Now it's hard to see, maybe you can see the color differences, but they are framed exactly the same. And let me zoom in, and there is definitely more detail in the cloth here than we have on the phone without Deep Fusion. So I tried a bunch of different photos, and while it's sharp, it's not as good as the Deep Fusion photo. So if you take a look here, maybe side by side, you can see it. It definitely looks better to me. So it's supposed to be something you don't notice, and the way it works is it only works when you're not in super bright and you're not in low light where it needs dark mode. So it's going to use all of those things, or night mode rather. It's going to use all of that resource of that processor to make the best photo possible. And it's supposed to be seamless, and that's why Apple is not giving you a switch to turn it on and off. Now on the iPad, we have a couple changes as well. So if we go into settings, for example, now we have home screen and dock. Now this used to be under display and brightness, but they've made it its own separate item. And here you can just change your icon size from more to bigger, and then you have options for keeping the today view on the home screen or multitasking and things like that. And then the other change on the iPad with iPadOS is maybe we're in settings again, and then we bring in a Safari window that had a couple of different tabs open. If we drag that right here, you'll see those tabs are right here, and we can just swipe one off the screen and then go into the tab that we wanted. So it's a new way to kind of access tabs within Safari. So nothing huge, but a nice couple of refinements there. Now, aside from that, I would still not recommend installing this, and the reason for that is it is very buggy. So for example, if I take a photo here, I'll take the photo, go into that photo, and it works fine here. But when it's in Deep Fusion mode, it actually does not allow you to open that photo, and it won't save a Deep Fusion photo. So for example, if I snap a Deep Fusion photo, maybe back out here, take that photo, go into the photo, instead it goes into the upper left and stays there. And if I don't tap on the photo, it won't save in Photos. It's a major bug. And if you're having bugs, make sure you report it in the feedback app that's on your device. So that way Apple knows what's going on, and then they can prioritize fixing those bugs. Now, aside from that, there are a bunch of other bugs, such as touchscreen input lags, delays when opening apps after swiping up on the home screen. There are a total of about 5 to 7 bugs that people are still having that they're reporting, so I would definitely recommend not installing this if you don't want to worry about bugs, especially since it's beta 1. Now, the other thing as well is someone found in the code that there are new AirPods coming with noise cancellation, so there's a picture of them and a reference to them, so that's something that's new as well. Now, battery life overall is going to be very hard to determine. Over the next few days or so, I'll know for sure. Battery life has been fairly solid, but on the 11 Pro Max, battery life is incredible anyway. But over the next few days, we'll know for sure, but you'll see my battery life with about 50% left has been almost 5 hours of screen on time. So it's been amazing on iOS 13.1.2. With the beta, it's hard to say. So maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get worse. I don't know, for a few days at least. Now, as far as performance on the older devices, such as the 6S Plus, it seems to be okay so far. Scrolling is nice and smooth. If I go into the Music app, for example, this is the first time I've opened music for a little while. And it's a little bit slow the first time it loads, but it's not stuttering as soon as I scroll through, and it normally does. So it's hard to say how performance is over time, but let's see how quickly the camera opens. It's pretty quick, so I would not suspect that there'll be any issues with it. Now, as far as benchmarks are concerned, I know a lot of you want to see that, so I did use Geekbench 5 on all of these devices. I'll show you that in a moment. But on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, let's go to Geekbench 5, wait for it to load here, and we'll go to the history. And today it scored 1,333 and a multi-core score of 3,285. If we compare that with the history from before, it's definitely a little bit lower on the multi-core side, but a little bit higher by 3 on the single core. So I'd say it's about the same. There's no reason for it to be any slower, really. It's probably about the same depending on what you're doing, and it normally increases in speed over the next couple of days as it finishes doing all of its background tasks. Now let's take a look at Geekbench on these 3 devices here. On the far left, I have the iPad Air 2. In the middle, I have the iPhone 6s Plus, and on the right, I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So they're all okay compared to what they were before, but obviously the 11 Pro Max is 3 times as fast as some of the others. So it's going to vary depending what you have. Don't take these to heart. This is basically just to give you a benchmark of what you should be seeing if you have similar processors in your device. Now, I'll be using this on my main device for the next week or 2, depending on when they release the next one, but I would expect a beta 2 maybe next week or in a couple weeks, and hopefully with some new emoji. I know a lot of people are looking forward to those Unicode emoji that were updated on Android already. We'll probably see them here if you're into emoji. Otherwise, I wouldn't expect any major changes, just more of a refinement and getting everything working properly. Some people have also noticed that there's a change in home, but I haven't seen that change where you can change the way these are arranged. So I haven't seen that. I haven't been able to find it, but if you know where that is, let me know in the comments below. That's it for iOS 13.2 Beta 1. Of course, we're going to see another beta before the public release. This one is way too buggy, so if you're not interested in having to deal with bugs, I would pass on this one, but let me know how it's going for you in the comments below. If you'd like to see a follow-up on 13.1.2, let me know that in the comments below. And if you'd like to see a separate or maybe a combined follow-up, I'd love to hear what you have to say about that for this beta as well. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, of course, I'll link it in the description as I always do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you'd like to see more of these videos as soon as they're released. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.